Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Welcome, everybody, to the V.O.S. podcast. I'm your host, Ganguzza, along with my most favorite wonderful co-host, Gabby. Hey, Gab.
I'm your only co-host.
This is true. But you're my favorite only co-host. Does that make sense?
Thanks.
Anyway, Gabby, I'm excited to introduce our very special guest today, a amazing talent, demo producer. I can't even, there's so many things that this man does amazingly well. I'm so honored to have him. It is our good friend and colleague, Cliff Zellman. Hey, Cliff, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
I got all the
She got all the clumps, yeah.
I did, because Cliff and I have had some wonderful working gigs together, and I just am continually amazed at his VO bossness. So I'd like to talk to you about that today, Cliff. I started off working with you for an automotive demo, and you are so well known. You are the go-to niche person for automotive, and that is just, I think, such a glowing example of VO bossness, because who do you go to when you need to know about automotive, when you want coaching, when you want a demo? Cliff Zellman. So tell us a little bit about that, and as well as how you made it your niche and how you're able to market that so well.
Well, I'm really, really fortunate. And I was a rock and roll engineer in L.A. for 20 years. And loved it, working 15 hours a day, never went to a party, never went out, always in session, always working with albums. And as I got a little older, I didn't really want to stay up that late, 4 a.m, and I got involved in recording voiceover for animation. So I had a good 20 years, 18 years of hardcore audio experience, analog, the good old days with the gear that's, worth a fortune now that we were using as doorstops back in the day. And I fell in love with the process, with the creativity, with the super talents I was so fortunate to work with. And that went on for about 5 years. And then I got a call from an agency in Dallas. And it was a starting company. There was maybe 3 employees, and I walked into the studio, and it was 16-track reel-to-reel with cables everywhere, and it worked great, sounded great, but it was not very pleasing. It really wasn't a very nice environment to work in. So it's been 22 years, and the company specializes in automotive, and I realized, automotive is really the rock and roll of voiceover. And it's aggressive, it's fun, it's varied, it's soccer mom, it's guy next door, it's slamming your head against the pavement. So because there's so many different styles of automotive, it really keeps me interested, and I really, really love it. Doing what I've done for the last 20 years has tagged me and branded me as the auto guy, and holy cow, I think that's pretty awesome.
Congratulations, because automotive spends money on voiceover, and that's just
automotive is
a huge thing.
I
It might
think
be
they're
number
one.
Yeah,
I think they're the number one buyer of radio time, TV time, certainly internet. A lot of corporate videos are being done. But, I really believe that automotive, and I've said this before, is the holy grail of voiceover, because it's continuous and it never stops. And we've all heard a million times on the radio, hurry, hurry, it's all over Sunday. I ask people, do you believe that? And they say, oh, no, I don't believe that. But actually it's true, because the incentives, 0% financing for 60 months, whatever, all come from the manufacturers. So what happens is every Monday, we've got a whole new set of spots. Figure 18 automotive manufacturers in the United States at any given time, 5 or 6, 7, 8 models. Each one needs an ad, and every ad's over by Sunday. And I'm working very, very hard to get more and more females into automotive. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yes.
But almost 30-40% now of what I'm hearing on the radio, and certainly what I'm producing daily, is female talent. And females are empowered, buying cars, and they've got what it takes.
And I've noticed in the larger markets as well. I have clients who are in Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, different parts of Texas, all automotive dealerships that come back to me time and time again, month after month, week after week in some cases. And yeah, they're realizing just how much buying and spending power the female audience has, and it's pretty great.
And rightfully so. I think that between the three of us, I think women are far superior in men to everything, probably except physical strength.
Oh, Cliff.
Other than that, no. This is coming from a guy that's been married for 30 years. Okay, I do what my wife says, and I'm never wrong, and it's a wonderful life. And just it would just be a better world if just listen to the women, let the women run it. That's what I say. Let the women.
You heard it here first.
That's
Let
right.
the women
Indeed.
run it.
I
Let
love
the
it.
women run it. I love that.
I've seen from my dealerships, we run a lot of numbers. That's part of what we do. And the buying is up, huge numbers. We're talking up to 12, 15, 20% for some dealerships for female customers, buyers, and just walking through the door. Back in the day, we used to say, the car spots needed to cut through the clutter like a hot knife through butter. But, I don't know if that's really necessary anymore. I mean, I think people turn off to it. And I've seen a lot of success from my dealerships by using women.
Cliff, what kind of advice would you give to voice actors as a whole who are wanting to incorporate automotive into their offerings, or who really want to look to go after dealers significantly?
One of the main reasons that I've noticed throughout the years of why voice talents fail for automotive auditions is because they read the script without, when it's an audition, there's no direction, maybe a little bit at the top, but that's squirrely anyway, we all know that. They read an automotive script the way they think an automotive spot's supposed to sound, rather than simply looking at the script. Look for the clues in the script and know the points of an automotive script. And within those points is to recognize the terms, how much, how long, the incentives, what are the neat things you're going to get out of it, the call to action, what am I asking you to physically do something, come in, pick up the phone, spin the wheel, take a test drive, understand the character establishment and the location establishment. And a lot of character car spots will start off with, here in Texas, or I'm a farmer, I like to work the land, something like that. Recognizing the points of an automotive read. A lot of dealerships are pretty uncreative. They know what they're listening for. They can tell you why a spot is wrong, but they certainly can't tell you why it's right. But I think the number one advice that I would give would be to not assume that a car spot, any given car spot, has a specific sound. And if you don't do the really gruff or over-the-top male or female, don't do it. It's really about understanding what you're saying, understanding what is being offered in an automotive script, and being able to deliver it in a way that's familiar to the dealership as well as the audience.
I think there's a perception about the automotive voiceover industry in that it's all commercials and radio or television. But I'll tell you what, I have a lot of success doing on-hold messaging for a ton of automotive related companies, as well as I do a significant amount of e-learning for different dealerships trying to how to sell their cars, from the brand to the dealership. I also just did one recently last week on financing, and so there's so many opportunities. Can you talk a little bit to the opportunities that I know you must see on a day-to-day basis?
Well, on hold is a huge opportunity, because usually if you're the voice of the dealership, you're also going to be the person that greets them when they call. Those change up maybe once, twice, maybe 4 or 5 times a year. Every time there's a change in the hours, every time there's a new GM, every time there's something new, a grand reopening. I don't know what the heck that is, but we actually talk about that a lot. Mm-hmm. And explainer videos, there's a lot of narration things going on for industrials in-house. There's always meetings. There's always new products. So, not only is it just the F-150, the Camry, and all that stuff, but it's everything that goes along with selling a high-dollar item. And it's wonderful. I can go from absolute hard sell screaming to grandpa, talking about how his granddaughter was born, seemed like she was born yesterday, and tomorrow, and today she's driving her dad's Volvo, and he's happy about that. So, it's really anything. Here's another piece of advice for people that do want to get into automotive. You will definitely need some form of demo. Automotive dealerships don't know what they're listening to. I've had many, many occasions where I've walked into a dealership, played a terrific demo. At United Healthcare, we're here to... Well, he's talking about United Healthcare. I know, but what do you think about the voice and the interpretation, and what do you think about the ownership of the... Well, he's talking about United Healthcare. I understand that. But listen to the way he... Well, he's talking about United Healthcare. I was, okay, fine, forget it. So these guys really only know. And if you deal with local and regional, local is the guy that has one or two dealerships, regional is a group, you can deal directly with the general managers and the owners. And another little tip is if you are going to do a demo, don't use a real dealership's name. Because if you say, Toyota on Campbell, the guy you're playing it for, Toyota on Campbell, I know that guy. That guy's, I don't like that guy. I don't ever want to, well, it's just a demo. What do you, no, I don't like those people. They're ripoffs. I don't want to ever hear this person again. So you got to really be careful.
Wow.
That's the way they are. And they're real numbers people, and they rely on you for your creativity. Most agencies, local and regional agencies, don't really discriminate between 30s and 60s. It all kind of evens out. You get paid the same for a 15, you get paid the same for a 5-second drop in, or a 30 or 60, and it all really just kind of works out. When you're getting 4 or 5, 6 scripts a day at X amount, you tend to be a little more liberal, maybe a little more grateful. But, it just keeps coming. It's like working at the post office.
And you also work with students as well.
Well, I work with students that are interested in doing a demo. I stopped really coaching about a year and a half ago for a couple of reasons. One, there's so many great coaches out there. And
well, you're one of them.
Well, Gabby's right there, and I'm talking to two of them, two of the best. And really, this is what you guys do. Instead of me taking them and coaching them, I love to send them to Ann or send them to, Gabby, whoever I think would be a good match for them. And then I'll call the coach in a month or two and say, how's it going, and keep in touch, and are they ready? Maybe yes, maybe no.
Now, Cliff, do you also still have your meetup group?
I started my meetup group back in 2005. And I only found out about Meetup because I was doing web pages for a spiritual fitness center, which was kind of neat. And each one of these people, they were facilitators, had a Meetup page. I said, well, what's this all about? So I said, this might be a neat thing. So I started my Meetup group not to be a teacher, simply to find new local talent for my agency. Oh. And I was really expecting to get actors, to get voiceover talents, to get college students, theater students in. And the first meetup I had 2 people. I had a mom and her 3-month-old baby. Baby was adorable. Not a very good reader. Second meetup I had about 10 people. Third meetup I had 40 people. By the fourth meetup I had 60 people. And I said, okay, this is not working. This is not what I had in mind. So I took about 6 months off, maybe about 3 months off, and I wrote a whole syllabus, and I created the 8 spokes of voiceover. And each one of these spokes had to be in place or the wheel just ain't going to turn. And it was great for almost, 9 years, 10 years. We had almost over 1,000 members. But it really got to the point of it was so time consuming.
Yeah.
And there are so many avenues now. If somebody just, really does their homework and really finds out what they need by really talking to people that you trust, people that you know. Like I said, there are some really, really good coaches out there. And it's also, I was giving so much technical advice. And again, same thing. There's some guys out there, Dan and George and Dan and Roy and all these people we know and love. This is what they do. This is what they do for a living. So I'm much happier just to say, you know what, you need to talk to this person about this. You need to talk to this person.
Cliff, this is something that I've admired about you from afar, not only in your meetup group, but as part of your demo production process, gleaned from other people that have worked with you over the years. You are incredibly methodical, clearly, and you do not sacrifice quality. And it is admirable, surely, but it's also, I think, what makes you such a boss. It's a critical thing.
Agreed.
And
Process is really important, and I learned that from Radio Vision. You know, sometimes the most creative part of my job with the agency is not the spots, but how the heck am I going to get 15 out by 5 o'clock? You know, so process is very, very important. I've honed the process down. When I do a demo, it's no different than I'm doing a spot for my agency, probably a little more intense. Here's another thing. I mean, my name's going on it, too. I don't charge by the hour. I charge by the project. And the person that I'm working with is the most important opinion that I can get. And I'm always open for opinion. And usually what I say to people that I work with, you know, this is not 100% the Cliff Show. You have to be involved. You have to give me input. This is your demo. This is something that you're going to walk away with. I don't necessarily want to hold your hand through your whole career.
I love that. I wish more people would adopt that mentality in this business, but who knows? Maybe we'll inspire them with this.
There we go.
Maybe they will.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much instant stuff available to people right now, and it's really, I always think it's kind of cheating them. You know, the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning on the Pro Tools or the audition bulletin boards to try to find out why you're getting a click every 30 seconds, and then bam, there it is. There's the answer on the bulletin board. You know, it's a victory. And a lesson that you kind of have to fight to learn, I think you're going to remember a lot better than a lesson that somebody just says, oh yeah, 416 or +3.
For sure.
You know, and that's the stuff that sticks with you, and that's the stuff that I find to be really impressive, and that's the stuff where I want to really jump in and go the extra mile for them.
Well, Cliff, this has just been amazing. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, I'm pretty easy. I can be reached at KALIF as in Frank, U as in unicorn, Kalifu at airmail.net, or an easier one, which is Zellman, Zellman 10 at gmail.com.
This has just been amazing. Thank you so much, Cliff, for taking time
my
out
pleasure.
of
Thank
your
you guys so much
busy
for
day.
having me and let me blab.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been a great blab.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to give a big thanks to our sponsor, IPDTL.
Don't forget, guys, you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, subscribe to us. There's so many ways to get in touch with us now. It's out of control. Who am I forgetting, Ann? iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, VO.S.com.
Instagram. We've got a new Instagram, too. Yeah.
Instagram,
we're all
Facebook.
over.
Yeah, and of course the exclusive product line that is now available at VO.S.com, including B.O.S. University, which we're very happy about.
And a really exciting new product coming up, which will be able to help you guys get some new clients. So be on the lookout for that. And thanks so much, guys, for listening. And we will catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Join us next week for another edition of V.O.S. with your hosts, Ann Ganguzza and Gabby Nisterko. All rights reserved. Ann Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.